from San Francisco, California. This is the Rock and Roll Geek Show. This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is, Sunday? Sunday, August 28th, 2022. And it is, I'm not sure what time it is when I'm, 7:35 p.m. when I'm recording this episode. It is day 28 of the Dog Days of Podcasting. I was going to play audio comments from Ralph Miller, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow. We went out in the boat today. My friend Deborah had not got here yet. She was on her way. Deborah, who I grew up with, also she asked me to say hi, Jimmy Padgett. Anyway, Deborah, who I grew up with, they rent a place down here for the month, and she was coming down from Jacksonville. And if you listened yesterday, the people we met up here yesterday, Mark and Lisa, well, we went out in the boat this morning with Mark and Lisa, and looking for lobster, just kind of farting around, not really hardcore looking, just kind of getting our feet wet and kind of figuring out, you know, getting me used to going in the water and my wife used to going in the water. They use this thing called a brownie's third lung. Well, first off, my wife and Lisa, Mark's wife, they pull them behind the boat, so they're holding on with both hands and being pulled by the boat, and look with a snorkel and mask and looking down. It's about 10 feet of water, looking down for lobsters in holes and whatever. And if they see a lobster, they let go of the thing that they're being pulled on, and then they go down and try to get the lobster. So they did that. They didn't see any lobster, or actually Lisa did see a lobster. She came up with it, but it was too small, so no lobster. So then they came back into the boat, and then we pulled out the brownie's third lung, which is a thing that sits on top of the water with like a lawnmower engine in the middle of it. And coming out of that are two hoses. They're about 25 feet each hose. And it's got a respirator, or not a respirator, but a regulator, like a scuba regulator on the end of each hose. And you put that in your mouth, and then you can go down, you know, deeper, so you don't have to hold your breath. So we rode the boat to a different place, to a deeper water, about 25 feet. And Mark drove the boat, so his wife Lisa and I went down in the brownie's third lung and looking for lobster. Found a bunch of lobster. A lot of them were small. I got one. I wasn't sure if it was too small or not, but I stuck it in the bag. I'm figuring out how to catch these lobsters. It's pretty. Once you get the hang of it, you look for them in a hole, and then you lure them out with this thing called a tickle stick, and then that's in your right hand, and in the left hand you got a net. And so you lure them out of the hole or the lead rock, and then they go trying to swim away, and when they try to swim away, they swim into your net. And then you grab them, and then you got a lobster. So we were doing that, and I was on what I thought was a big lobster. All right. I'm down in probably about 25 feet, and I had the net upside down, and the lobster went into the net, and the net was upside down, so it didn't go in the net. It went forward, so I went chasing after this lobster. And when I went to chase after the lobster, when the lobster got away, I go, "You motherfucker!" And when I said that, my regulator blew out of my mouth. I'm like 25 feet under the water with no air now. And I'm trying to reach around for the regulator. I can't find it. Still looking, still trying to reach, and by that time, I'm out of air. I got to get the fuck to the top. So I shoot to the top. By the way, I have a weight belt on. So I start swimming towards the top. About halfway up, I'm going, I'm out of air. I got to take a breath. What am I going to do? And instinctively, I just breathed in, and I breathed in a lungful. I must have breathed, I don't know how much, I was going to say half a lung of water, but I'm sure I didn't, or I'd be dead. but I'm still coughing because of it. I'm breathing in water. I'm only halfway up, and I got a weight belt on. I did so many things wrong. I'm trying to swim to the surface with a weight belt on. I could have taken the weight belt off. I would have shot straight to the top, but I didn't. I was panicking. No, I was not panicking. I was still thinking about the lobster, one thing, and thinking about losing my air, and the weight belt was the last thing on my mind. I forgot I even had a weight belt on. So I'm trying to get to the top, and I'm breathing in a little bit of water. I'm going, oh fuck. So I try to hold my breath longer, and I'm still swimming to the top and don't seem to be going anywhere. I'm about 10 feet up. I breathe in a little bit more water, and then I finally get to the top. I'm up to the top, and I'm trying to put the snorkel in my mouth. I can't, the snorkel's full of water. I can't, I'm completely disoriented at this point. I thought I was gonna fucking die, man. And everybody's going, what's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm just, I'm not flailing and panicking, but I'm like just up at the surface, trying to breathe in air. You say, come to the boat, come to the boat. I couldn't get to the fucking boat. I was like out of it. Eventually, I was able to grab hold of something like this long bar that Mark put into the water and pulled me into the boat, or pulled me to the boat. We almost lost our friend Michael Butler and friends. I shit you not, I thought I was gonna fucking drown. But I made it. I was embarrassed as hell. I had drank so much salt water. I don't know if you've ever drank salt water, but if you do, you feel like you're gonna have to reset the clock. So I'm now on the boat, feeling like I need to reset the clock, coughing up water, and I'm going, and then spitting like mouthfuls of water out into the ocean. I felt like a fool. I felt like, man, I'm a noob. I am a newbie. I was embarrassed, and funny, my wife wasn't the least bit scared. She was kind of laughing at me. Maybe she's thinking, finally I can get rid of this motherfucker. Who knows? But I lived, so in your face, wife. All right. So I was embarrassed. Everybody was like, oh God, this guy's... And he goes, you up for, you want to take a break? You want to stop? Or, because we're going to go to another spot. You want to fish? You want to do some... And I said, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to get right back on the horse and do it again. So we did it again about 10 minutes later. Oh, and before that, I put some... Before we did it again, after I'm being embarrassed about almost dying, I put defogger in the middle of my goggles, and you're supposed to, after you put the defogger, you're supposed to dip them in the water real quick. So I reached over the side of the boat and dug them in, and dunked them in the water. They fell out of my hand. And I go, shit, I dropped my goggles. He goes, you better jump in after him. No, pardon me, I'm burping up this fine ocean water. Hold on, let me wash it. Let me wash the ocean water down with some Tecate here. I'm about 5 Tecates in now. So I had to dive in the water after I'm still hyperventilating from almost drowning and get my goggles, or my mask. They're not goggles, called goggles, it's called a mask. I grabbed the mask and snorkel. So I managed to rescue that. I'm feeling like I gotta reset the clock, and I'm going, should I get in the water and just blow one out? But I didn't. It eventually passed. And then he said, do you want to do it again? I said, yeah, let's do it. So I got right back on that horse, and the next time it was a lot. I said, I'm holding on to, I'm not spitting this. First thing I'm going to do is, if this happens again, I'm getting rid of the weight belt. that was amateur move number one. Well, amateur move number one was letting the regulator come out of my mouth. Amateur move number two is not getting rid of the weight belt. I have about 15 pounds of weight on me, and it's a weight belt. You let go of it and you'll go back to the top, which is what I should have done. But I didn't. I was stupid. So first thing I did this time was, if I lose the regulator, where is it going to be? So I practiced that before I got in the water. And I moved it to, instead of from my left side, I moved it to the right side where I was used to doing it when I was taking the certification class. So I have it on my right side, and you have a tickle stick in my wrist, and you have a lobster bag hanging on, clipped to your weight belt, and you have a net on your other wrist. So I figured out where, if I lose the respirator again, where am I going to, or the regulator again, where am I going to find it? I did that. I looked at my weight belt. What I'm going to do if all right, there's the clip for the weight belt. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to go back up. So I did it again. This time it was way easier. I held on to that regulator. That thing didn't come out of my mouth. So I made rookie mistake the first time. Hopefully I will not make any more rookie mistakes. Pardon me, I'm coughing up this fine ocean water. We got a bunch of lobsters, but unfortunately none of them were large enough. This was way close in. We're just kind of fucking around or farting around today. And supposedly the big, I was going to say oysters, but the big lobsters are farther out. We're going to do that tomorrow. So hopefully we will have better luck tomorrow. But your friend Michael Butler had a near-death experience. I almost died a horrible putrid stench-filled, drowning in the ocean looking for lobster kind of death. So please keep those donations coming, friends, or that's the kind of death this podcast will die. All right. So there you go. That's my story for today. Tomorrow, unless I have another great story, Ralph Miller, I'll be playing his audio comments. He's got a show review and an addendum and a response to Chuck Spears' Pat Benatar review. So got that to look forward to. I'm going to close out now with a song by a band called, I'm sure you've heard of this band, Ugly Kid Joe. Remember that? I hate everything about you. Well, they're managed by the guy who used to manage Ginger, Gav. His name is Gavin. And the bass player from Hey Hello, Ginger's band, is playing in Ugly Kid Joe, I'm pretty sure. So I guess they're living in England now. I don't know, but they have a new song out called This Ain't Livin'. This was sent to me by Greg Brofer. And Greg Brofer said it sounds like a cross between Airborne and he just says it sounds a little bit like Airborne, I think. And so that's what I'm going to play to close out the show. This Ain't Livin', from a brand new song from Ugly Kid Joe. I knew nothing about Ugly Kid Joe other than that song and the guy who, Toshi, great bass player who plays with them, and Gav, great guy who manages them. He doesn't manage Ginger anymore. I don't know what happened. There was a falling out that I don't really know all the details of. So thank you for listening, friends. I will talk to you tomorrow with day 29. We're down to like the last 3 days. Or maybe I'll keep doing shows. We'll see. I always say that at the end and then I don't. So maybe I'll try to do a couple more days. So if you give me an audio comment, I will play it, friends. So, and let me know if you want me to keep doing this longer, and I will. All right. Deborah is in there cooking. She's my old roommate, and she is a fantastic cook. The kitchen in there, it smells so good in this house. I mean, I thought I knew how to cook, but this girl blows. She cooks circles around me. She's got something in there cooking that smells so fucking good. I can't wait to go eat it. And she made a pound cake. And they can put down some booze in that other room. Those people are putting down some booze. I'm drinking beer, so. All right, friends. Thank you for listening. Here is Ugly Kid Joe. I'll talk to you tomorrow. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com is where you can send me an email. Find the show at rockandrollgeek.com. Listen to all the Dog Days of Podcasting shows at dogdaysofpodcasting.com. Facebook R&R Geek, Twitter R&R Geek, Instagram Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. Yeah, I will talk to you tomorrow. Sounds like something's going on in there. Something fell. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Here's Ugly Kid Joe. Have a great Sunday, friends.
Hey, Michael. It's me, Ralph Miller.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.